Hi, good morning everyone. Thanks for joining us at the club. As you know, we've been going through a review process at the club towards the events of last Friday. We've also now reviewed the penalties handed down by the NRL as of yesterday. And as a club, after much deliberation, we've decided to accept the penalties against the four players, Jamin Lowe, Sisawonga, Brian Norrie and Sikamanu. We've also agreed to accept the charge against Adam Blair. As you know, a further matter has been referred to the judiciary, and we're working towards preparing ourselves for that tomorrow night, and we won't be saying any more on that matter. With regard to the $50,000 fine, we reluctantly accept that as well.
You say reluctantly, do you think you were harshly dealt compared to Manly?
I'm not sure I want to engage in a debate of who came out better or worse. From our point of view, we've had a look at the penalty imposed, why it was imposed, the size of it, and our decision is that we'll accept that and move on. We're doing so, you need to understand, because we actually want to focus on football. We want to focus on this week's game. We want to focus on winning that game and hopefully secure a minor premiership and then the finals that ensue on that. So that's where our focus is at the moment.
Ron, how much was given to the players' penalties and also the 50 grand as to refusing the whole lot and saying no, we're not going to take anything?
Well, again, I think we went through a great deal of deliberation. We had a good look at the video footage. We sought legal advice, and we think that the right thing to do at this point in time is to accept the penalties imposed. We know that the players coming into the field of play is a breach of the rules, the operational rules on this matter. Whether we think that their actions were understandable and reasonable, the reality is that what they did was wrong, and there are penalties attached to that, and we accept that.
So if you told them that's it, no go, if it happens right in front of you, you can't get off the bench?
Well, I think the NRL has taken the steps now to change some of its own systems and process to improve that, and we acknowledge that and encourage that thinking.
Do you fear Adam Blair's played his last game for the club?
Look, again, I don't think we need to comment on anything that's before the judiciary, so perhaps ask us that on Thursday morning. But we're going to prepare very, very strongly on handling the issue at hand before the judiciary tomorrow night.
What was the NRL's response when you spoke to them about your players coming in to protect your player after the Manly players were the third, fourth, fifth men in? What was their response to say there's no difference?
But, again, we've got to separate what are the rules, and those rules are broken. Regardless of whether it was reasonable or explainable, the fact of the matter is the rules are broken. So we had that discussion about the duty of care. I mean, the fact that Sisawonga was really concentrating on the duty of care, there was a player being set upon by 5 Manly players. It is a reasonable reaction and response for a player to come to that player's defence, a teammate's defence. We understand that, but again, the penalties were against the breaking of the rules of entering the field of play.
Is the club satisfied that those Manly players who set upon Adam were penalised enough? They're the ones that actually escalated the affair beyond what it was 2 blokes standing toe-to-toe on the boundary. Are you satisfied that they've been penalised enough?
Russell, I'm not going to comment on that because I think that may in fact have an impact on the judiciary hearing tomorrow evening, so I'd rather not comment on that.
Overall, do you know if the NRL is looking at the practice of sending 2 guys off in the same direction? I mean, are they reviewing that as well?
I think it was made clear in the statement yesterday from the NRL that they had reviewed that, and there were going to be changes as to the process, and again we acknowledge and encourage that.
Have you spoken to the NRL or will be giving you proposals to the NRL how things can be handled better in the future?
Again, Sathy, I don't think we need to do that because in the statement yesterday they had proposed some changes that I think addresses that in terms of the timing of the players leaving the field and the order that they leave, and being accompanied I think makes a difference as well. So I think what was proposed yesterday is probably a step in the right direction.
In playing terms, it's not ideal. The run to the finals, you've got a whole lot of guys that are going to be sitting on the sidelines. What impact do you think will it have in that run to the finals?
No impact. As far as we're concerned, we're focused on this game this week. And then from the finals after that, we'll see the players we have available. It could be no different if we had an injury. So why contemplate the hypothetical? The reality is we're focusing on the game this week.
But you're going to be missing 3 or 4 top liners, obviously, which must have some sort of impact on the team.
I think we've been missing players for one reason or another through the course of the season. It's made no difference.
Ron, has there been any communication between the executives of the two clubs about what happened to...
Absolutely.
And what have those discussions been about?
I think we've just been trying to understand, as part of our own reviews, understand what's occurred, why it's occurred, and what position we were going to take, and the way we were going to enter into dialogue with the NRL.
Do you fear if the teams met again that there would be increased hostilities, or sort of the executives discussed that?
I understand that there's a bit of passion between the clubs, and I think everyone would agree that that passion is a good thing for the rivalry between the clubs, and I think that'll continue, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
Can anything be done to prevent such an incident happening again between the two teams?
Look, I don't know. I think, again, if you're going to play a side that there's a history and there's a passion towards it, then you go out and play the game as you would play and play it with full passion. I think we would encourage that. I think we'd probably be a little more careful as to the events of next time. But again, the NRL put in place some changes now that hopefully will help ensure that it doesn't happen again.
On the night, what were you thinking when you saw it all unfolding?
I think it happened so quickly that that all we were thinking of, certainly what I was thinking of, is hopefully no injuries came from it. So from my point of view, I was there, I was watching it, and it happened also very quickly. But that's where my concern was, that nothing more came of it.
Have the players involved spoken to each other personally since?
Not that I understand. I couldn't answer that.